Hello guys, let's create this cute ice cream character together in Blender. First of all, notice the screencast keys in the bottom right whenever I hit Ctrl+S to save. They make following along a breeze. Second, we need two of Blender's built-in add-ons, Auto Mirror and Node Wrangler. Press Edit Preferences add-ons. Search for Auto Mirror, and if it's not active, click Get Extensions. Search Auto Mirror again, and hit Install, then activate it. Repeat the same steps for Node Wrangler. Great, our add-ons are ready. Okay, now let's begin shaping our ice cream scoop. Press 1 on the numpad for front view. Select the camera and light, then press Delete. Select the default cube. This will become our ice cream. Press S, Y to scale down along the Y-axis. Press S, X to scale down along the X-axis. Then press Ctrl+A and apply scale. Press Tab to enter edit mode. Press Ctrl+R and scroll the middle mouse button. To add 2 loop cuts along the Z-axis, click to confirm. Press Ctrl+R again. Add 3 loop cuts along the X-axis, click to confirm. Press 1 for vertex select mode. Press Alt+Z to enable X-ray mode, so we can grab back vertices too. Box select the near bottom loop cut. Press O to enable proportional editing. Press S, Shift+Z to scale that loop outward on X/Y. Scroll the mouse wheel to adjust fall-off for a smooth bulge. Box select the top vertices. Press O again to disable proportional editing. Press S to scale them down slightly, rounding the top. Select the 4 top vertices. Press G, Z to move them upward a bit, adding a playful crest. Select the 4 bottom vertices. Press G, Z to move them downward, lifting the scoop off an invisible cone. Press Ctrl+R, add a loop cut at the middle. Press S to scale that middle loop outward slightly, rounding the sides of our ice cream. Perfect. Our cube is now shaped into a stylized ice cream scoop, ready for next steps. Okay, now let's add those indentations for detail. But since our character is perfectly symmetrical, we need to make our life easier by adding a mirror modifier. On the X and Y axis, press N to open the side panel. Navigate to Edit, Auto Mirror to add our first mirror modifier on the X axis. Next, choose the Y axis, set orientation to negative, and click Auto Mirror again. Now we have symmetry on both X and Y. Press 3 to interface select mode. Select the 3 faces on one side of the scoop. Press I to inset them slightly. Now, select the 3 faces in the middle. Press I to inset them too, and B again to remove the boundary. Shift select all 6 inset faces. Then press E to extrude them inward. Watch the indentations appear on all mirrored sides. Amazing. The auto mirror magic gives instant symmetry. These subtle scoops add playful detail to our ice cream character. Okay, now let's add the eye socket to mouth. Select the face on the bottom right. Press I to inset it. Press G to move the inset into the correct eye socket position. Press S to scale it slightly for a snug fit. Press E to extrude it inward, creating the socket depth. Now for the mouth. Select the face at the middle of the scoop. Press I to inset. Press E to extrude inward, forming the mouth cavity. Press Alt+Z to enable X-ray mode. Press 1 for vertex select mode. Then Alt-click or box select the middle vertices of the mouth. Press G to move those vertices downward, creating a nice curved smile. Select the corner vertices of the mouth. Press G to tweak their positions for a stylized shape. Press Ctrl+3 to add 3 levels of subdivision surface. Then right-click, shade smooth for a soft finish. Okay, now let's add a sweet chocolate eye. Press Shift+A, UV sphere, and in the Add Sphere panel set segments and rings to 8. Press S to scale it down to eye size. Press G to grab and move it near the socket. Press G, Y to push it forward into the socket. Press Ctrl+2 to add 2 levels of subdivision surface. Press S, Z to scale it down along Z for a stylized flattened look. Right-click and choose Shade Smooth. Go to the Modifiers tab. Add a mirror modifier. Choose the ice cream object as the mirror object and enable both X and Y axis. Perfect. Our eye is mirrored into both sockets and our ice cream character is smiling sweetly. Okay, now let's add the ice cream stick. Press Shift+A cube, then press G, Z to move it beneath the ice cream scoop. Press S, Shift+Z to flatten it along Z for a slender stick. Press S, Y to scale it down further on the Y axis. Nice and thin like a popsicle stick. Press G, Z to tuck it perfectly under the ice cream. Hover and press Ctrl+A, apply scale. So all transforms reset for clean editing. Press slash on the numpad to enter isolation mode. Focus on the stick alone. Press tab to go into edit mode. Press Ctrl+R and add 2 horizontal loop cuts along its length. Click to confirm each. Press S, X to scale those loops outward. Press Ctrl+R for 1 vertical loop cut. Click to confirm. Then press S, Z to scale that loop out slightly, adding gentle curvature along the stick's length. Select the side faces. Press Ctrl+R to add a loop cut around the stick. Then press S to scale outward, softening the edges into a rounded profile. Press Ctrl+2 to add 2 levels of subdivision surface. Then right-click, Shade Smooth, for that smooth, wooden appearance. Press slash again to exit isolation mode. Press S to scale the stick down a touch, if needed. And G, Z to nudge it into final position. Okay, now it's time to add materials. Switch to Material Preview in the top right corner. Drag the bottom panel up and change it from timeline to shader editor. Press N to hide the side panel. More space for shading. Okay, now let's create a rainbow ice cream material. In the shader editor, press Shift+A and add a separate XYZ node. Press Ctrl+T to auto-add texture coordinate and mapping nodes. If there's an existing image texture node, select it and press X to delete it. Connect the generated output of texture coordinate into the vector input of mapping. Connect the vector output of mapping into the vector input of separate XYZ. Hover over the Z output of separate XYZ. Click and drag into empty space. Then type color ramp to add a color ramp node. Connect the color output of color ramp into the base color of the principled BSDF. In the color ramp, change interpolation from linear to ease. Click the plus button several times to add stops, and assign each stop a different color: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, for a vibrant rainbow gradient. Now let's add subtle texture. Press Shift+A, add a noise texture node. Connect the vector output of mapping into the vector input of noise texture. Connect the FAC output of noise texture into the FAC input of the color ramp. This adds variation to the rainbow stripes. Press Shift plus Control plus left click on the noise texture node to preview its output in the viewport. This helps see how noise affects the color. Adjust the scale, detail, and roughness parameters on the noise texture until the color transitions look pleasantly uneven but not too chaotic. When you're happy, Control plus Shift plus left click on the principled BSDF node to preview the final material. Finally, connect the color ramp output also into the roughness input of principled BSDF. This makes roughness vary with the pattern, giving a subtle tactile look. Okay, now let's adjust the chocolate eye material. Select the chocolate eye object. In the Material tab, click New to create a fresh shader. Set the base color to a dark brown. Lower the roughness slightly for a gentle sheen. Now, let's create a stylized wood material for the stick. Select the stick object. In the Material tab, click New. Press Shift+A, Noise Texture to add noise node. With the noise node selected, press Ctrl+T to add texture coordinate and mapping nodes. Press Shift+A, Noise Texture again to add a second noise node. Connect the FAC output of the first noise texture into the vector input of the second noise texture. Press Shift+A, Color Ramp, and connect the FAC output of the second noise texture into the FAC input of this color ramp. Connect the color ramp color output into the base color of the principled BSDF. Now, tweak the first noise texture. Set scale to 2. Set detail to 1. Set roughness to 0.4. Tweak the second noise texture. Set scale to around 18 or slightly higher for tighter grain. In the color ramp, click plus to add an extra stop. Choose colors reminiscent of wood, a light tan for highlights, mid-brown for midtones, and a deeper brown for grain lines. Raise the roughness on the principled BSDF so the stick looks matte and slightly worn. For extra detail, press Shift+A, Color Ramp. Connect the FAC of the second noise texture into this second color ramp's FAC. Press Shift+A Bump. Connect the color ramp color output into the height input of the bump node. Connect the bump normal output into the normal input of the principled BSDF. Lower the bump strength to around 0.1 to 0.2 for subtle surface variation. And there you have it. Our stick now has a stylized wood grain with subtle bumps. And that's our adorable ice cream character, all modeled, detailed, and textured. If you had fun, please like and subscribe for more tasty Blender tutorials. Got flavor ideas or characters you'd love next? Drop them in the comments. I read every suggestion. Thank you for blending along with me. And as always, happy blending.